let's talk a little bit about your power team and who you might need when you are private lending. So some of this depends on the type of lending that you decide to engage in. So for me, I lend to general contractors and then I lend to fix and flippers. So I have some specific team members on my power team. And so that includes people like attorneys, accountants, definitely title companies. So like Chicago Title, because sometimes I need to make sure that, this is the actual owner of the property. I have a bookkeeper on my team, just a regular part of my business. We can get into that another time. But your power team may change slightly depending on the type of lending you're doing. But I would definitely recommend having an attorney, not necessarily on retainer, but just someone that you know is who's familiar with private lending. It could be a law firm who specializes in private lending, just in case something happens. And if you are lending in the real estate space, for instance, you may want to have an attorney who specializes in foreclosure, or an attorney who's just super familiar with real estate and that whole process in that state, in that specific state that you're working in. But there's a ton of different people you may need on your team. You may need consultants, like someone, if you're doing fix and flip, you may need someone who is, in the construction industry, someone else like who is familiar with codes and the cost of things so that you can make sure that budgets look good. It really just depends on the type of lending that you're doing. So really think about okay, based on what I'm doing, who might I need to conduct my evaluations, to do my due diligence, to make sure that this is in my favor and that I'm protecting my interests here. That's something to think about. And I would say having a community of other lenders is a key part of your team. I know other lenders and, we can bounce ideas off of each other, see if something sounds right. I mean, sometimes if it don't feel right, it ain't right. But it's always nice to talk to someone else about it to see this borrower said this to me, what do you think about this? But yeah, there's tons of different people you may need on your team. But make sure that these are the people based on the types of transactions that you are specifically doing that you need on your team. Equipment financing loans might have different team members than a loan where you're actually financing the purchase of a property. In that case, you might need a closing attorney, depending on the state, in addition to a title company, in addition to an appraiser or a company who does appraisals. It really just varies, depends on the type of loans that you do, but definitely start looking up people in the state that you're lending in. I would suggest creating a spreadsheet. So what I do is I have a spreadsheet by state. So each new sheet is a new state, and I include the contact information of the different people that I either plan to work with or that I've enjoyed working with. And of course, a little note saying definitely work with this person again, or do not contact, just so that you can remember, what your experience was with that person. And this can help you build your team in various markets, even though I do suggest sticking with one or two geographic markets to start. But as your lending business grows, you want to have different people in different states. And a way that you can start to find these people is go with referrals. So people that you know in that state who have worked with these different types of companies or people. You can also look for Google reviews, Yelp reviews for different team members, networking events, find people and try them out. Not to say that that's, a guarantee they're going to be good, but that's definitely a way that you can meet people and consider adding them to your team.